I am so glad to be sitting down to talk about products with you today. Our world continues to be turned upside down, and this is just such a wonderful respite for me and hopefully for you as well. I'm gonna try and be not so wordy today, even though there's a lot to say. I've been trying these products for quite a while now. The hero product this month is the Hyaluronic Marine Serum from Mukti, and the sidekick is the 2-in-1 Resurfacing Exfoliant. I've also been trying some other products from Mukti I want to tell you about. There's comparisons to be drawn to some past Beauty Heroes products that I think are relevant. And then I've been getting so many questions about how this box compares to the April Boxwalla Box featuring 2 products from the brand Monastery. And the reason people are asking is because the type of products are quite similar. So an exfoliant and a hyaluronic serum, an exfoliant and a hyaluronic serum. So at the end, I'm gonna offer some comparisons because I think a lot of people are curious. And then Beauty Heroes is actually offering some special pricing deals around this box. They never in the history of being a company have offered their subscription-based boxes as able to buy solo, but they're doing that for this box. So you're seeing this on Sunday, but on Thursday they will have started the special pricing. This month's Beauty Heroes box can be purchased as a one-time box, either for yourself or to give as a gift, and they're also doing a choose what you pay option, similar to if you're familiar with the clothing retailer Everlane. They have a choose what you pay option. So the 3 tiers are what the box would normally retail at, which is $59, the price of a 1-month subscription, and then $62 and $65 if you want to give a little extra to support a wonderful small business during this time. If you are a Beauty Heroes member, you can apply your 15% off code. For example, if you want to give this as a gift. Purchases of the box just don't go towards the Love More promotion, which is a $125 purchase minimum. Okay, Mukti, I have to admit I had never heard of this brand until Beauty Heroes started carrying them. Maybe they started carrying them in late 2019, I want to say. But they're a pretty new discovery to Beauty Heroes. However, this brand is 20 years old. Which is crazy. It was founded by an Australian formulator entrepreneur in her homeland of Australia, Mukti. So the brand is eponymous with her name. She was a student of integrative medicine, botany, and indigenous cultures, embraced green chemistry early on, and became the first brand of its kind to utilize native Australian ingredients in cellular extraction methods to really preserve the integrity of these very antioxidant-rich botanicals. So right away, this reminds me of Blue Alchemy, which is why I thought this would be a good comparison. So they are Cosmos Organic Range certified, and Mukti actually published a book in 2018. My terrible habit, you guys, swinging back and forth. The book is called Truth in Beauty, which takes a thorough look at ingredients in skincare and explains why organic plant-based formulas are extremely effective and how to leverage targeted routines to address specific skin conditions. The range is actually pretty big. I've gone onto the brand's website and looked. For example, they do a shampoo and conditioner, they do some body care products, but for the most part, Beauty Heroes is carrying mostly skincare products. The Hyaluronic Marine Serum, this is a 30 ml bottle and it retails for $91. And the 2-in-1 Resurfacing Exfoliant is actually a very generous 100 milliliter size bottle, and this retails for $33. So let's talk about hyaluronic acid while I kind of just show you the texture and whatnot of this product. So it's a very sort of straightforward, creamy gel hyaluronic acid serum kind of product. This is a kind of skincare product I have had a lot of experience with. The first product like this I ever used and had great success with was the Provise Nutrify 1-6 Tonic. This was actually a hero product of Genie's when Beauty Heroes, I believe, used to be Spa Heroes. So in the first year of Beauty Heroes, like 6 or 7 years ago, they featured a brand called Provise and this Nutrify Tonic, which was a hyaluronic acid serum that was designed for pretty much all skin types. I had never really used a hyaluronic acid serum product before, and it really kind of revolutionized my skincare routine. At the time when I started using it, maybe 5 years ago, I was quite a bit drier than I am now. My skin, for the most part, is quite normal. If anything, it's just gotten a little bit more sensitive over time through pregnancy and postpartum, I could also be experiencing sensitization as a result of using so many products. So just to give you a little bit about my skin background, there are somewhat polarized or somewhat controversial attitudes about hyaluronic acid in skincare. I mean, where are there not controversial attitudes about skincare or anything in life? But I often will reference a blog by the skincare brand called Oumere. The founder of this brand takes issue with a lot of things that are just kind of givens in the skincare world, like you need a vitamin C product, you need a retinol, you need a hyaluronic acid. And if you read her blog, it's called the Bioluminsessence blog, I think. I'll link it in the description bar. One of her posts, and I actually haven't read it in depth because hyaluronic acid it really works for my skin. However, for example, vitamin C doesn't work for my skin. It's always dried my skin out. So I really resonate with her perspective there. But hyaluronic acid over the long term has done very good things for my skin. Very long-winded way of saying I definitely have space in my personal routine for a product like this. So as far as hyaluronic acids, I would say this is on the like stickier and I mean more effective end. Some of them are a little bit lighter than others, and we'll talk about that when we get to this Monastery product. It's called Monastery Aloe. It has just a very, very strong blue tansy smell. So for me, that's a bit of a detraction just because I am not the biggest blue tansy fan. And I'm sure I won't be the first person to mention this, but there's just been a lot of blue tansy showing up in products lately. Blue tansy was in both the Honua Mahayalani Balm and the Lihao Face Mist. I think it was in both, which was, I want to say this August or September Beauty Heroes box from 2019. And then much more recently, the Blue Alchemy Botanic Retinol features very strongly blue tansy as a scent profile. So there's a lot of blue tansy going on, but as far as performance, I have had really good luck with this. Let me now quickly tell you about the exfoliant, and then I'll talk about how the products have been faring in my routine over the last couple of weeks. So the 2-in-1 resurfacing exfoliant. So this is caviar lime, desert lime, and rainforest lime native AHA fruit acids mixed with jojoba esters and finely ground bamboo particles. So it's a combo chemical and physical exfoliant. I think the packaging is a little bit of an odd choice because you do kind of have to, I mean, it does come out pretty easy. Like if you have the lid on and you just shake, you will hear it in there. I mean, it is like pretty firm. So when I first started using it, I was kind of not suspect, but I was like, this isn't the most intuitive packaging, but I know that for certain textures, packaging can just be sort of difficult. So you can see it's this very, very beautiful, you know, almost like Kelly green color. You can probably see some of the particles in there right away. This has a very light natural cucumber scent. So it's not like Bath & Body Works Cucumber Melon. It's just a very, very light, refreshing cucumber. You actually don't smell the lime as much, oddly, which I think is probably a testament to the like elegance of the formulation, really. So it's actually a very, very pleasant experience. However, it's a little bit aggravating to my more sensitive skin. However, I have a few tips to mitigate sensitivity to a product like this. So the instructions for this are that you can use it up to 3 times a week. As an exfoliant, you want to use it on cleansed skin. You could let it sit on your skin for a little bit, or you could kind of use it in the shower and scrub it right off. So the first time I used it, I just kind of used it as a very gentle second cleanse. I just typically don't do well with any kind of physical exfoliation unless it's very intermittent, like a couple of times a month. This is a more relatively recent development in my own skincare, but what I notice when I use products that are physically aggravating, I will just get very red on my jawline. I will get red around my nose, and I can just tell that it's a bit irritating to my skin. So I am always on a quest to find kind of my perfect acid enzymatic type of exfoliation. And this is kind of like a double whammy because it's the AHA fruit acids from the lime as well as those particles, which are like on the bigger end, I would say. So I liked the experience, but the first time I used it, it was definitely too aggravating. So the second time, I've used this maybe 3 times. The second and third time, what I did this is a really good tip if you struggle with a product that's too active, is to mix it with some oil, or to actually put down a little bit of oil as a barrier on your skin. Even though you're going to be using this as like a cleanser or mask, the oil kind of acts as a little bit of a buffer to a more active product. I did it both ways, oil on the skin, and then I actually mixed the product with oil in my hand. I think I used the Votary Super Seed oil just because that's a very kind of neutral and nourishing oil that I have in my routine right now. And unfortunately, I just didn't feel that it made that much of a difference to mix it with oil. It was still just like kind of a little bit irritating for me. So I would say, as far as skin type or skin tendency, if you are oily combination, you know, with active breakouts, I don't know, this could potentially aggravate active breakouts. If you're dry and dehydrated, I would just tread. I mean, actually, maybe it could be good for dry skin. If you are sensitive, I would definitely use a small amount, dilute it, work with it with oil, or you may get like a little bit of a reaction. It subsides right away. I just am not the biggest fan of the effect that this has on my skin personally. I have something else to say though about a product that is my personal hero from Mukti so far, but let's talk about the hyaluronic acid product next. So I generally only like to use hyaluronic acid in the morning for whatever reason. Everyone's going to be different. I have tried this morning and evening. My evening skincare routine, I just much more prefer to do a traditional like oil, toner, emulsion, cream or balm serum routine. I've talked about skincare layering so many other places. I may actually be talking about it on Patreon this month, I'm not sure. Or I may be talking about Denchan's own facial reflexology anyway. So typically a morning routine with this would be splash my face with water in the morning, maybe do a little bit of a toner. It depends. You certainly don't have to. And in fact, the nice thing about a hyaluronic acid product is that it can sort of stand in for a toner and a serum. I actually think you get a better result when you apply this, similar to like Blue Alchemy's serum-y gel serum products like the Botanic Retinol or their vitamin C. I forget what that's called. Multi-C, which I love. They do a little bit better just on dry skin, not damp skin. So I find that I actually liked like 3 pumps of this to cover my whole face. So apply to just kind of dry skin. It's very pleasant in experience, kind of except for the overwhelming blue tansy scent. And it's every blue tansy smells like a little bit different. This one is very the word that jumps to mind is like sour, but I don't actually mean that in a bad way. It's more like the sourness that you would associate with like a lemon or a lime. So a nice kind of sourness, but it's quite like sharp, not as mellowed out as blue tansy can be in other formulations. So it is relatively sticky, which is kind of the experience you're going to get with a hyaluronic acid. You could either top it with a couple drops of an oil if that's your thing, or I actually think that this, as well as the Monastery aloe product, pair really well with something like the Free and True Mama Pacha cream. That has fast become like one of the best day creams I have ever used. I've been hearing from other people too that they're just loving it. So that layers really nicely over this. I've never had any pilling problems, which can sometimes be a problem with hyaluronic acid product. This plus Mama Pacha, an eye product, and then a little bit later before I go outside, I'll put on the Solara SPF, or I'll put on Suntegrity or something like that. And it's very, very hydrating. So I would say this is a very high performing product, verging on being too active for me. So I think I just prefer skincare that is like not so intense. And I would say that these are on the more, not even aggressive, because there are certain products and brands that I feel do have a little bit of a more aggressive approach to skincare. I would say that these are just more active and more intense. This is really primarily meant to be a hydrating step, plumping, moisturizing, hydrating. There's something called fucoidon extract, which is found in wakame seaweed, which visibly plumps the skin. So I've definitely experienced that. I just wanted to bring the Blue Alchemy Botanic Retinol up as like being similar in experience, but it's a very different product. This is more of like a heavy hitting nighttime serum. It has bakuchiol as well as like 4 other forms of plant-based vitamin A. So it's really like a very active serum, whereas this is just really primarily a hydrating and like a skin barrier protective serum. So as far as how they kind of look though, I just thought that I kind of wanted to do this myself. So that's what the Blue Alchemy looks like. It's definitely light. It has like a lighter blue tansy scent, whereas the Mukti, and you can see they're different colors. This one is like a bright blue. Seems just like it has a much higher proportion of blue tansy, and I think that there also are other essential oils blended into the Blue Alchemy products. Yeah, the ingredient list on the Hyaluronic Marine Serum from Mukti is really very short. It has blue tansy and elderflower extract, so it's really just like that punch of blue tansy. So I think I'll be able to shed even more light on them by talking about the products comparatively to the products that are in the April Boxwalla Box featuring the San Francisco brand Monastery. I've talked about this on and off several different places, mostly on Instagram. I might still do an IGTV demo of these. The products are the Rose Glycolic Gel, it's called XX, and the Hyaluronic Moisture Boost, which is called Aloe. The products look like this. They're beautiful. This is a, I think I've described this before as a Greek folkloric herbal medicinal kind of brand. It's an esthetician founded brand. Athena Hewitt is an esthetician who runs a spa and storefront in San Francisco. So these are very different, and it's interesting that the boxes are getting compared so much because I guess they are the same kind of product, but the experience is very different. I would just say that overall these are more gentle, they're more mild, they're just a different experience. I don't necessarily like one better than the other. I'm still actually trying to get the XX Rose Glycolic Gel to work for me. I have different struggles with this than I do, for example, with this. I just historically have issues with my skin responding well to glycolic, but so far I've had pretty good success using this mixed with oil, again, as a what's called a contact acid or a flash mask, where basically you just keep this on your skin for 8 minutes at the most or something. You can work up to using this as an overnight serum. I think that would be a little too much for me, but I feel like I've gotten good results as just like a midweek skin refresh, and it doesn't have the same irritating effect that the particles in this do have. The aloe, in compared to the Mukti, I would say I personally prefer the scent profile of aloe. It's lavender mixed with clary sage, so it has like a really interesting like lavender with like a coniferous sagey type of smell. Really beautiful. It's like very sort of Mediterranean. I believe Athena said that she sources the lavender from Naxos, which is an island in the Cyclades. This is more, I don't know if I just showed you, this is like kind of like a white, almost like creamy, sometimes creamy, somewhat opaque, but it looks very clear there, gel. And I tried them both in the same way, which is, you know, a couple of pumps in the morning on dry skin topped with a moisturizer. Both of them provide that kind of, you know, if you just apply a hyaluronic acid product to dry skin, it almost has like a sucking effect. You feel it kind of drying down on the skin and kind of like, I don't know. But I did find that with this plus just a cream on top, it didn't quite feel like enough. Whereas this plus a cream felt like perfect. So I would actually say that this one, that's why I'm saying that this one I feel is a little bit more heavy hitting, but the blue tansy is not my favorite. So do you see what I mean? Like I really like both of them for different reasons and different purposes, but I'm obviously a total beauty and skincare junkie, so you don't need to have both. It just depends on what you're kind of more drawn to, what your skin tendency is. If you're very dry, I actually think this one is probably going to be better for the skin, but the experience of this, especially if you're, for example, a sensitive skin type or not that dry and you want like a lighter type of product, this could be better. Now, my personal hero product from Mukti that I have tried, and I love this product. I kind of wish they had included this in the box. I had the opportunity to try it as a brand ambassador. It's Mukti's Deep Cleanse Antioxidant Mask. It's so interesting to me because, you know, it's just sort of hit or miss on a ton of trial and error, like what you're gonna find from a brand that you're gonna love. Very rarely you will find a brand where kind of everything works. The brand is just very in line with your approach to skincare, your skincare experience preferences, and you just feel very aligned to the way a brand formulates. Even in my most favorite lines, there'll be a product here or there that doesn't necessarily work for me. Some brands, it takes me a little longer to find something that really works for my skin. For example, Maya Chia is actually a really good example. I have not liked anything I've ever tried from Maya Chia. I've tried almost the entire brand except the Optimist, which is their hydrating sprayable essence, and that is like a desert island product for me. I love it. I don't like anything else from the brand really, but that product is so amazing. I mean, we're all on our own individual skincare journeys, but I freaking love this. At the outset, just by reading the box, I was like, it's going to be too drying for me. It's a kaolin clay based mask. They say you can use it 1 to 2 times a week to purify, detox, and cleanse. It also has pawpaw extract, coconut oil, macadamia nut oil. It does have jojoba esters, so I don't know if you could see in there, or I'll show you in a close-up. It does have very little exfoliating particles, but you don't really feel them on the skin at all. So many other great ingredients. Kakadu plum extract, which Blue Alchemy formulates a lot with. Silky oil grass extract. I mean, beautiful sounding ingredients. Chamomile, tamanu oil, sea buckthorn. I mean, just so amazing. So I used this, and I mean, what is not to love about this? It is a pre-mixed mask that is so easy to put on. So you would obviously take your makeup off, do a first cleanse, put a steamy cloth on your face to, you know, get some circulation going, generously apply this to your skin. They say you can leave it on for 15 to 20 minutes. If you are dry or dehydrated, I would err on less time because clay can obviously just pull things out of the skin and lead to a little bit of surface dehydration, but I think there's so much in this formula to actually counteract what the kaolin clay could do. I did not find this drying in the slightest. You know what I found it to be is like a souped up, pumped up version of something like using the 5 Yena Bioadaptive Creamy Clay Cleanser as a second cleanse. That's actually a very clarifying cleanser on me. It's very neutralizing. It's a very deep cleansing. I use it a couple of times a week for just kind of like a deep pore cleanse. And this is like that in a mask plus some. So I could easily use this once a week. I loved it so much. It's not overpoweringly scented at all. It actually has a similar scent to another product I could tell you about in their range, which is the Marigold Hydrating Cream. Both of these products, this one almost has like you can smell a little bit of I think it's like the cocoa butter or something. You know what it reminds me of? There was this body care product by John Masters Organics. It was the Kupaku body butter. If anyone knows that product, it was in a tube. I don't even know if they still make it. This kind of smells like that a little bit. Oh my gosh, I love it. And then you just rinse it off. The jojoba esters that are in here did not irritate my skin at all. So I just had a great experience with this. This is my personal hero product if you're looking for something to round out a Beauty Heroes order. The Marigold Hydrating Cream I actually got to try as part of a Love More promotion a couple of months ago. Like I placed quite a few Beauty Heroes orders just of my own accord. This smells a bit like straw. Like it kind of smells like hay in a barn. I don't mean that in a bad way. Again, like the ingredient deck on this is nice. It's actually quite an emollient, like rich cream. It actually works really beautifully as a hand cream, but as just kind of like the final step in a nighttime skincare routine, I think it's really nice. So just a few additional things from Mukti to consider. A lot of the other products on the Beauty Heroes carries look really compelling. So yeah, just if the brand speaks to you, I can totally attest to this. And there's definitely more that I want to try from the brand as well. I can also tell you that in conversations that I've had with Jeannie and her team at Beauty Heroes for the last, I don't know, 4 months, all they've been talking about is this brand. They've all been so obsessed with this brand and using it and just like singing it, shouting from the rooftops how much they love the products. I want to do like my staple products from Beauty Heroes because there's so many. I mean, there's things that I order repeatedly and then there's things that I kind of go out and test from them. So if you're interested, I would love to put together a list of like my top 5 most repurchased and my top 5 like most intriguing things that I'm looking at from Beauty Heroes. I think actually that would be like an interesting podcast maybe. Speaking of the podcast, the episode that you'll hear tomorrow on Monday is a disappointing products. I sat down and talked about everything in this bag, which is actually quite a lot for disappointing products. It's about an hour long. I just got the first draft back from my sound editor, so I'm really excited for you to hear that. Because I did that huge empties video recently and now the disappointing products, like I'm feeling so liberated. If you're looking for more content, I've actually been doing even more on Patreon. Every Friday morning, I'm doing a live get ready with me and just like catch up and chat. They've been so well attended now that everybody is home. So it's given me, and I know the people that have been at the live stream level on Patreon, like just a really something to look forward to, a sense of community. Yeah, just a place to talk about makeup and what's going on in the world or whatever. So I value those so much. I'm doing them every single Friday morning. Patron exclusive video, patron exclusive podcast, petit conseils. I'm going to be posting some sample questions that I've been answering because the questions are so good, and I think sometimes people are a little bit at a loss for what they could do at that level. And yeah, I'm just trying to strive for equanimity during this time, provide content that is nurturing and comforting and supportive and interesting and inspiring, because what else can we really do right now? Thank you guys so much for watching. All of the links and information you need I'll have down below if you want to sign up for the box. Check out these additional products, the Boxwalla box. I'll have that linked down below as well. All right, thank you guys so much again, and I'll see you here next week. Bye.